On the leg of my last video, thanks for tuning in. This is clearly stated here with Vibrating Minds. I'm talking about the map of consciousness, the one that David R. Hawkins created to measure our level of energy levels based on our emotions. So the other video I talked about guilt and shame, and the next level is apathy. Apathy gives you a whole energy level of 50. With your emotional state associated with it is despair. And with despair, your view on life is hopelessness. So just sit for a moment and think about this, okay? As human beings, we're all here, and our main purpose while being here on earth is to be validated, have our experience acknowledged, have our presence presented, have our presence validated. And unfortunately, we don't generally live that way because we're on such low levels of frequency, which is exactly what I'm talking about. In a couple of my videos that I'd done before, I discussed how we have to make room at the table for our emotions. Yeah, the negative ones, those ones that we've been taught to ignore and say they're bad, and put all the guilt on us for having them, those emotions, we got to reprogram the program, because the program they programmed us is bullshit. Okay. All these emotions, the ones that David Hawkins is talking about, we have to give them room at the table. So we have to make friends with these negative emotions. It's like they say, right? Keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. That's the point, right? So you want to understand your yin yang. So if you're feeling these emotions, shame, guilt, apathy, the three that I've discussed, and there's many more on the scale, as you can tell, right? There's quite a few to go by. But if you're under any of these emotions, we need to address why. Where is it? At what point in our lives was this imprinted on our DNA strand? Where did we have that sense of within our primary environment of being less than or lack of mentality? At what point did our primary environment make us feel like we were not validated? Our presence was not worthy. And once we recognize this, and you have to go in and observe without judgment. Remove the emotions. Completely remove the emotions. Okay? And when you observe without emotion, it gives you a whole new perspective on these energy levels, these frequencies, because you're looking at it without the emotion. It allows you to understand it better. Understand where you came from, wherever that stemmed from. And once you make friends with these emotions, because they're not going anywhere, they're going to be with you. You're going to have circumstances in your life where life is going to test you. That's the point. Sorry, I'm having a shake here. So we need to really sit down and observe and understand these negative emotions that we have. Sorry, there's a bird there. I don't know. He's got something in his mouth and I think it's too big for him or something. He's having trouble eating it. But anyhow, we have to make friends with these negative emotions. We have to understand these negative emotions. We have to know where they stem from. We have to understand the embedded DNA part of in order for us to heal. Okay? So the third emotion is apathy. The next one is grief. Grief can be on so many different levels, right? We could be grieving the loss of somebody, either through their transitioning to another realm or through an argument, a misunderstanding, an observation of these people being in your life, and when you're cleaning house, who are you getting rid of to bring yourself a sense of wellness. And sometimes when you're cleaning house and you're getting rid of people because they're not serving you, there's a grief there. There's a grief. You're grieving a loss. You've lost that individual in your life. And when you're grieving a loss, you're at a level of 75, which is your energy level, which is because, grief is presented to you, right? It's not something that you have every day or continuously or constantly. It's that thing that happens which really tests your reaction to it, and how much time you spend there, how much time you live in grief. Grief can destroy you. And depending on the type of grief, if you've lost several family members, okay, the circumstances of the loss could be a stronger emotion that you're going through. Could have been a tragic death. It could have been, a car accident. It could have been, causes disease, or people taking their own lives, or however you want to. The people left behind are the ones that have to heal through this. That's the point. We have to understand these emotions. That's part of the human experience. That's why we're here, to do exactly that. Oh, and then the one that they say, I think it's actually David Hawkins that said it, fear is one of the lowest levels of frequency that you could be on, and it's at a level 100. But when you look at fear and all the ones below it, which is grief, apathy, guilt, and shame, that's all below fear. You can combine them all and put them in one. Because with fear, grief, you have fear of forgetting them, not ever, so what do? You grieve them every day. You think about them every day. You worry about them every day. You're constantly, your brain is, and if you don't have that grief, you fear not grieving to forget. You fear the despair that comes with it. The guilt. Oh my God, guilt will create blame. The blame game. Because you've done something you shouldn't have done in your world, and you're unwilling or unwanting to face it or look at it. And because you're unwilling to turn the table around and look internally, you live under this guilt, and then you blame. It's everybody else's fault. It's never your fault. It's everybody else's fault. So fear is at an energy level of 100. And the associated emotional state for that is anxiety. Oh, wait, what? Yeah. Sit back for a minute and think. Are you anxious? And because you're anxious, you have all these other traits that come with it, right? You're uncertain, can't make a decision. You're running around like a chicken with your head cut off. You're very anxious. Life's got you frightened all the time because you fear this and you fear that, and no, you don't want, no, you don't like that, and no, I can't do that, and no, I can't, and I fear this. Fear will debilitate humanity, literally debilitate us. So again, we have to make room at the table and bring in these emotions and welcome them. Welcome them, to understand them, assess them without judgment, review them to understand where that was initially embedded in your DNA from your primary environment. You have to understand it. And once you understand how it's there, why it's there, and what your triggers are, the next time you have to grieve, you're grieving, but you're giving yourself the amount of time to grieve. You're not living there for the rest of your life. You're grieving the loss of the presence of this person in your world. That's okay to grieve. Grieve. I'm at 10:45. I'll be back. Thanks for tuning in. Clearly stated. Vibrating minds. Until next time.